Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. I'm going to talk about a few other things that are going on as well. Can XRP's price ape 2017's pattern after institutions move $1 billion? What's going on with these institutions is they are positioning themselves. Other institutions are creating treasuries and reserves around XRP as well. But as far as this run looking like the 2017-2018 run, that run was incredible. This run is going to be absolutely epic. A lot of people are going to make significant amounts of money. And I'm telling you right now, everything that's happening is all on top of where this run was originally going. Remember, before all these catalysts showed up, people were predicting a $17 to $27 XRP during alt season. Now you add all these catalysts on top of that, and we go much higher. Why 2025 may be the year crypto finally grew up in the eyes of Wall Street. 2025 is the year that these institutions finally decided, hey, we want to get involved with crypto. Why stock traders wanted to all of a sudden get involved in crypto. They don't want to miss out on what's about to happen in this space. My problem is this. Why do they have to go through an ETF? Why don't they just buy the actual asset? Maybe once regulations are in place, maybe there will no longer be a need for these institutions to buy through an ETF. But Wall Street is also going to become tokenized. This comes from Robinhood. Let's tokenize. Starting today, European investors get exposure to U.S. stocks and ETFs, powered by our new blockchain-based tokenization technology. So Robinhood is bringing the U.S. stock market worldwide. And we knew this was eventually going to happen as well. Everybody is going to be able to invest in all types of investments because of tokenization. And some people still think tokenization is not going to be a big deal. It is going to be massive. This comes from Johnny Deaton. Several years ago, when I said I eventually expect XRP ETFs, some people laughed. I said Wall Street is too greedy to not do it. I also knew people would copycat Saylor and implement Bitcoin treasury companies. There's no way people on Wall Street are going to sit back and watch Saylor do it alone. I also said there will be companies that implement the Saylor Bitcoin treasury strategy, except with other tokens. Some laughed. There are between 60 to 100 companies implementing a Bitcoin treasury strategy. Below's article about Fundstrat makes at least 2 companies implementing an ETH treasury strategy. Tom's and also SharpLink Gaming, which is the largest ETH treasury holder with a $425 million private placement backed by Consensus, founded by ETH co-founder Ethereum Joseph. And there are at least 5 companies implementing an XRP treasury strategy as well. And there's going to be more of this happening because now they want to hold the asset in a treasury. When it comes to XRP, because it actually moves value very fast and very cheap, they're going to lock XRP away for its actual use case. I want to see what happens with these Bitcoin treasuries once Bitcoin's price crashes down. Because right now, there's so many people under the impression that Bitcoin is up only from here. They are about to find out. Either they cash out once Bitcoin makes its one last move up, or they're trapped in it for another 4 years, hoping the next cycle plays out as well. This comes from Eleanor Tourette. Crypto super PACs return, spend big bucks on special elections. Fair shake backs winning VA primary candidate. 3 new crypto firms apply for Fed master accounts, and what to watch in Washington this week. These super PACs are not going to disappear. Wait until the midterms. You're going to see so much money poured into these super PACs for candidates that are pro-crypto. Crypto isn't going anywhere, and we don't need anti-crypto politicians in Washington trying to stand in the way of innovation. That's the way I look at it. Once they get regulations passed, that's going to greenlight everything. You're going to see crypto talked about everywhere, and it's going to be beyond Bitcoin. Because once XRP starts breaking out and all the rest of these utility cryptocurrencies start to really break out, everything's going to pivot away from Bitcoin, even with the mainstream media news. Forget market cap. Here's why XRP has potential to reach $1,000 according to an expert. Now, when it comes to market cap, I still see people saying the math will never add up. There's 100 billion XRP, and XRP's never going to get above $10. But what they forget about is this. A lot of this XRP is going to be locked away for a long period of time. We already see some companies creating treasuries and reserves. And as that XRP is getting locked away and the demand keeps rising, the price will rise with it. Anybody who believes that 100 billion XRP was too many XRP are soon going to realize that 100 billion may not have been enough after all. Everybody counts XRP out until it starts really moving. Then all of a sudden, the narrative shifts. I'm expecting the same thing to happen again. Then there's this, and this is, I'm going to say it's a dark side of the XRP ledger. I'm not a fan of DNA protocol. It isn't just another token. It's Ripple's real endgame. You thought XRP was just about money. What if it was also identity? DNA protocol is the hidden layer of Ripple's master plan, and nobody's seeing it. And this was definitely worth sharing. Ripple is building a new financial system. RLUSD is digital cash. XRP ledger, neutral, scalable ledger, RippleNet, global money rails. But here's the thing. To move money in the future, you need more than a wallet. You need a verified digital self. DNA protocol, a biometric identity layer on the XRP ledger. It's a tokenized ID system built on Ripple tech, privacy-preserving biometric claims, know your customer compliant, and sovereign by design. This isn't just another technology. This is identity infrastructure hidden in plain sight. Sam Altman's WorldCoin failed because it was too centralized. DNA protocol could be Ripple's silent counter to WorldCoin. No iris scanning, no hardware dependency, on-chain verification via zero-knowledge proofs, tied to your genomic fingerprint. You don't log in, you are the access. Jed McCaleb is watching closely. Remember Jed, Ripple's co-founder, XRP creator, left the company but not the mission. Now he runs Astera Institute, funding Neuro simulation, human enhancement, cryptographic ID, post-human research. Guess what fits perfectly with those goals? DNA protocol. With DNA protocol, your genetics become a sovereign asset encrypted and governed by you. What if your DNA could pay for your surgery? DNA on-chain plus XRP healthcare could make your genetic data the key to personalized treatment, global access, and the direct payments in RLUSD, all secured on the XRP ledger. Medicine reprogrammed. RLUSD plus DNA equals total integration. Imagine this flow. DNA protocol stores your identity. RLUSD stores your value. RippleNet moves both across borders, banks, and platforms. You'll access your money, vote, and unlock services based on who you are, not what you type. Scary and maybe inevitable. Ripple, movement of value. DNA protocol, movement of human identity. RLUSD, the bridge. Institutions onboard silently. Retail, kept distracted through lawsuits and price suppression. This isn't a DeFi project. This is the foundation for programmable biometric access to the global economy. And it's all starting on the XRP ledger. The reason I wanted to share this is because I was not a fan of this at all. And I'm still not a fan of it at all. Because they sell it to you like, okay, you give up your DNA, you put it onto the XRP ledger, and you can monetize your DNA. So you could gain value from it. But how would you gain value from it? You would have to sell it to someone. Someone would have to see the value in your DNA. I don't think digital ID is gone. I think digital ID is being worked on in the background while everybody is distracted by everything else that's going on. But I wanted to share this thread with all of you to get your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know when I first talked about this, a lot of you weren't happy about it and said you would never do this. But what are your thoughts after I read this thread? Because this makes a lot of sense. And Jed McCaleb, he's been all about digital ID in the past. Same thing with Chris Larson. You know, right now, the mainstream media news is selling the idea that Bitcoin is going to be the asset that the entire world runs on. It's going to replace the US dollar. Think Blue Sky says Bitcoin will never, ever be the U.S. currency reserve. Loomis and all the crooks on the crypto tried their hardest to push that scam, and it got shot down. Now, MSTR, Sailor are dumping everything they can without spooking the market. This will not end well, and small investors will be left holding the bag. While Numbnut Sailor has sold everything and is on his yacht overseas, never to be seen again. XRP is about to lead all of crypto. You know, they try to sell it as an asset that the United States government should buy to pay off half the debt in 20 years. The part they're missing is the debt is going to become a tokenized asset running across the XRP ledger, Stellar Network, Hedera Network, and so on. People don't realize that that is the actual end game. And think about buying up all this Bitcoin. All you're doing is bailing out the big bag holders. It does not benefit the American people. Supreme Court sides against Coinbase users. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled against Coinbase users in the IRS case, allowing the tax agency to have access to their data on the exchange. Like I've been telling you this entire time, the reason why they did anti-money laundering, AML, and Know Your Customer, KYC, is because they hand over all the information to the IRS. Same thing happens with Uphold and other exchanges as well. So when they're giving out that information to the IRS The IRS knows when you're moving your crypto. I didn't expect this case to be ruled against the IRS. There's no way they're going to get rid of this yet. I do believe at some point the IRS will no longer exist. That's what all the tariffs were supposedly about, ending the IRS. But as long as the IRS is still around, the exchanges are going to report how much crypto you're holding, how much crypto you're moving, how much crypto you're transacting in, whether you report it or not. And I don't see this changing in 2025. However, I think by 2026, maybe into 2027, they'll start talking about ending the IRS again. And that would be a very good thing. Bank suddenly shut down by U.S. regulators in second bank failure of 2025. So this one was Santa Ana National Bank. It's been shut down, and foul play at the small Texas lender is suspected. But, you know, these banks, they're going to continue to fail. It's all about that bank consolidation that has to happen ahead of a digital dollar. I'm expecting a liquidity crisis to really show up at some point right before the switch happens, because they have to have a crisis before the new system goes live. So you'll get a massive bank crash happening all across the world. I don't think it's just going to be a U.S. event, because everything is going to switch to digital very fast when it happens. But this is going to be a global event, in my opinion. And then right after that, they show you the solution. And that's when the Phoenix XRP will rise from the ashes. But it's not even shocking anymore when these banks get shut down or these banks collapse out anymore. It's almost like we're used to it at this point. But I expect more of this to happen ahead of digital money. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.